Good afternoon, y'all. Hope you're doing well. Today, I'm going to be talking about another spiritual discipline, fasting. Now, one of the reasons why we wanted to look at fasting, because this past Saturday, some in the church did a fast over the situation with COVID-19, just a time to fast and to pray about the situation. Now, some may be asking, what is fasting, or is fasting biblical, or why should you fast, or how do you fast? We're going to cover those couple of questions really quickly in today's video. First, what is fasting? Fasting is simply choosing not to eat for a period of time for spiritual growth, for seeking after God. Now, that means you don't eat anything, but you generally do drink water. Now, you can also do partial fasting. So maybe you only eat vegetables and drink water, so kind of like what Daniel did. What you're trying to do is, that to the best of your ability, to use fasting so that it will prompt you towards spiritual growth or towards God. Now, is fasting biblical? Some would say that New Testament believers, Christians, shouldn't fast. But in fact, actually, we see examples in the New Testament, not just in the Old Testament, of fasting. One would be from Acts 22, when the believers came together and were praying, should Paul go to Jerusalem? So they fasted for 14 days. Now, one of my favorite passages in the New Testament, Donald Whitney points this out in his book, Spiritual Disciplines, is in Matthew chapter 6, in the Sermon on the Mount. Jesus assumed that his followers would fast. You probably know the passage where he's teaching them how to pray. Right after that, he teaches them how to fast or how not to fast. And Jesus said, when you fast, Jesus is assuming that they would fast. So, fasting, the practice of fasting, is perfectly biblical. Now, why should you fast? I find myself, when I'm practicing the other spiritual disciplines, whether that's Bible reading, Bible meditation, what we talked about, silence and solitude, you can do witnessing prayer, whatever. I'm finding myself always wishing that I could focus better. And I'm just sometimes just longing for heaven, when I will no longer have a fallen mind and a fallen body that sins, but I can always remember and stay focused on God. Now, what's really cool about this is fasting can be a way to help you do that here on this earth. See, what you're doing in fasting, you're choosing not to eat. And every time you feel hungry, it prompts you then to pray, or then to meditate, to seek after God. It's a way to do that. Now, why should you fast? You should fast. Maybe you're praying about a specific prayer request about protection of people in COVID-19. Maybe you're seeking after God for a decision in life, or you're grieving over a particular sin. You're asking for God for deliverance. Fasting are all examples in the Bible for those things. I just really want you to encourage you to think about fasting. It may be intimidating, but just start small. Maybe just do it for one day, or just skip one meal and then work your way up to that. Just do it as you're felt led, and I believe over time you'll see benefits from it. I can say personally, this is the spiritual discipline that I've tried and probably need to grow in the most. I have seen some fruit and seen some benefit, but myself, I need to grow in that too. But if anybody has any questions, just put a comment down below. I'd love to answer them for you. If anybody does do a fast, we'd love to hear about it and just hear about your experience. You all have